experience an art form and appreciate it more because of the coursework that you had in our college. But more than anything else, we hope that we've been an important part of your university experience and that we've made a difference. What is our most fervent hope? That you live a life of purpose. That you leave this world better than when you entered it. And that you lived a good life. Relish every step of your journey. Thank you. We have a tradition at Fulbright College of having members of your class do our graduation commencement talks. And this year we have two remarkable members of your class of 2009. Greg Harbour is a Bodenhammer Fellow and is graduating with a double major in mathematics and English, with an emphasis in creative writing, and just for the fun of it, he got a minor in psychology. He's a 4 years honors scholar. Greg's remarkable accomplishments are described in his biography, which you can find printed in your program. Greg?
Thank you. Family, faculty, distinguished guests, and undistinguished guests. I don't mean to judge, it's just statistically unlikely that all of you are going to be distinguished. Men and gentlemen, women and ladies, pets, be they seeing eye or otherwise, friends, Romans, countrymen, the half dozen of you who saw the crowds here at the arena and suspected there must have been a basketball game going on, I'm sorry to disappoint. And, of course, most importantly, the Fulbright graduating class of 2009. They say a good commencement speech begins with a joke, so I thought I would mention our economy. Now, here at Fulbright, we might live in an artsy, sciencey dream world, far from the harsh realities of, well, reality. But the business college is having their commencement today as well, and it's doubling as a prayer service for the Tao. So our thoughts are with you. But secretly, perhaps, we feel a quiet relief. When we told our friends and families what we plan to major in, they asked what kind of job we could possibly get with that degree. But it looks like we'll have the last laugh, because those suckers aren't going to get jobs either. Yeah, they say a recession is the best time to invest in a higher education. So as we graduate in the midst of an economic crisis so great that fashion experts are predicting that the haute couture of this summer will be a wooden barrel worn as a pair of suspenders. Well, our timing couldn't have been worse, but at least our hearts were in the right place. We sought out an education. We wanted to learn about what interested us, what captivated our minds and our spirits. Many of us can now name all of the bars on Dixon, or every single contestant on the second season of the VH1 hit series Flavor of Love, starring Flavor Flav. I love New York, personally. A few of us even know a thing or two about the arts and sciences. Some of the math majors in this very audience can count well past 100. I know that sounds unbelievable, but trust me, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. And college is about getting an education, and meeting friends, and making memories. It's not about getting a cushy job right after you graduate, and thus never having to worry about paying your bills ever again. That doesn't matter. What is important is the love we share. In the words of the great William Shakespeare, I never went to college, but if I had, I would have gone to the University of Arkansas, because that's where you'll find the greatest combination of intellectual stimulation and personal fulfillment. Woo pig suey. Yes, he actually said it. I'm not kidding. It's Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 4. Look it up. Certainly, we will never forget the University of Arkansas. The Alumni Association will make sure of that. But as we go our separate ways, moving on to our careers, or continued education, or our parents' basements, I am certain that some strange force, some mystical connection, some ethereal bond will tie us together and hold us in communion for the rest of our lives. I am speaking, of course, about Facebook. And I'd like to close by reading a poem written by a great 20th century lyrical poet named Joel Leach. And though it's almost 90 years old, I think it still has a message for us here today. Hit that line, keep on going. Take that ball right down the field. Now, I hate to interrupt you in the middle of it, but I want to give a little poetic analysis because it's probably the last time my English major is going to come in handy. When it says ball, I think it means spirit of change and human possibility. And when it says down the field, I think it means into the hearts and minds of every red-blooded American. Of course, this is only my subjective analysis, but I think you should keep that in mind while I read the rest of the poem. Where was I? I'll keep on going to the bottom of the field. Give a cheer, rah, rah. Never fear, rah, rah. Arkansas will never yield. On your toes, Razorbacks, to the finish. Carry on with all your might, for it's A-R-K-A-N-S-A-S for Arkansas. Fight, fight, fight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Greg. I'll remember those words always. Homa Cosmel was born in Calcutta, was raised in Tulsa, and graduated from Union High School in 2005. She was awarded a Chancellor Scholarship and began her studies at the University of Arkansas the following fall. She's a 4 years honor scholar, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Broadcast Journalism, Middle East Studies, and Political Science. Homa and her many accomplishments are described in the biography that's printed in the program.
Thank you. I won't be near as funny, I promise. Mahatma Gandhi once said that the world is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. His eloquent words have proven truer today than they did even over 5 decades ago. Did you know that we're a mere 4% of the world's population? 4%. It sounds humbling when it's put in that global perspective, but perhaps even more humbling is that this 4% uses up over a quarter of the world's resources, and something's got to give. Most of us know things need to change, as everything around us is constantly striving to go green. And while I'm encouraged by the green movement, it's often difficult to incorporate that change into our everyday lives, or even feel that our efforts will be the one to make that difference. 4 years ago, we weren't talking about climate change and carbon footprints and economic recessions. Now these issues are not only on our radar, they're taking up the entire screen. Society today can be packed with superficial supporters. We call ourselves humanitarians, environmentalists, and activists because it's cool and hip to do so. And while we like being defined by these overarching terms, we sometimes struggle to apply them to our daily lives. We see examples of this superficial support everywhere from campus to corporations to Congress. We see it when people's actions are inconsistent with their ideals and when these actions trump supposed beliefs. We see it when students are eager to support starving children in Africa but forget about the needy right here on our doorstep. Or when saving the Brazilian rainforest is sexier than cleaning up a creek on campus. I don't know about you, but I can't help but think back to high school and the decisions that led me here today. I think back when I never thought I'd end up spending 4 of my most formative years in the state of Arkansas. Growing up next door in Oklahoma, I had always dreamed of getting as far away as possible in order to jumpstart my brilliant, non-cliched idea of making a difference. Choosing the University of Arkansas, though, turned out to be the best decision for me, one that was made after hours of discussion with parents, teachers, and friends. Thinking about how I weighed the pros and cons over 4 years ago, well, it makes me feel pretty old now, but mostly it reminds me how far I've come and how much my priorities have changed. Little things have changed. My hair, the way I eat, changes the way I speak. I've noticed a decidedly southern twang in my words lately, and I use y'all more often than not. But it hasn't only been me as an individual that's been changing, as I'm sure is true for everyone here. Over the past 4 years, we've seen